Yo, 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 it's Thursday night. The boys are back in town.
Hey,
You know, the name of the episode?
Tina's Bronco.
So the Broncos finally finished.
The Bronco is finally finished.
The Broncos finally finished.
Yes, thank God. Yeah, I felt like that one did take a while. There was a couple guys that were like, "Man, that was a long series," and it was like we were really thorough on that one, and it was almost, yeah. I mean,
You guys had a lot of stuff going on in between releasing those videos too.
yeah, it was, yeah. I mean, it kind of sucked because it's like it was the first Bronco vid that we've done, and we have another one. I'm not going to do it next because that's I don't think anyone can handle that, myself included. But there was just a lot to unpack in the Bronco,
right?
Because like F-150s, we can kind of speed through some of that stuff, because we've done so much of them, and other cars it's just not that interesting. But the Bronco is just like it's one of those like, oh
Yeah,
man,
it's still new,
and everybody's doing them wrong. So
yeah.
it's like, what's up, Sean? Hey, Melissa.
What's up? It's cold.
Yeah.
I don't know. Pass on that.
Oh shit.
We had when we had the snow apocalypse or whatever a couple years ago. It was legit -17 temperature in Arkansas. I thought I might die. We thought we were going to go snow sledding.
Right.
I couldn't even breathe.
Yeah.
I don't know what the wind chill was. Luckily, it wasn't windy that day, but the temperature was -17.
What's up, Bobby? Yeah. No. No. I mean, I had my hoodie on part of the day today. That was pretty nice.
See, the problem is I look like I'm built for cold weather, but I'm not.
Dude, you're from California, man. No, you're one of those big Latinos that doesn't look like a big Latino because you go, "Hey, y'all, what's up?" And it's like, no, there's something not right here.
Wires got crossed.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute, whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. Yeah, but no, yeah. So, it was funny. A couple of the comments, like, buy amping a 4-inch. It's like, you guys are silly. Like, yes, buy amp every speaker. I mean,
oh, dude, if you have control over every speaker,
it's fantastic.
Why not? I mean, sometimes you have to compromise and you can't do it, and you can work around it. But if you can do it, why wouldn't you?
Oh, exactly. I mean, yeah. And it's like, and we got spoiled because like the first Bronco we did was supposed to get a 6-channel and ended up getting an 8-channel because we were doing a 6-channel Helix, and all they had was the 8 channels at the time. And so I was kind of pissed because like I don't want an 8-channel because I can't bridge it, so I couldn't do anything with it.
Right.
I was like, so I was like, all right, well, let's just buy amp the 4 and the dash. And Fernando's like, really? And I was like, yeah, what's it gonna hurt?
Yeah, why not?
And we did it, and we were like, we're buy amping every one of these we do. This is freaking awesome. Like,
it's nice to have, and it's not, I think people I don't know if people think this, but they may think it's about power. It's about control.
Yes,
that's what it's about.
It's power is control.
Well, exactly, but you can control your mid-range separately from your tweeter.
No, I know that, but I mean, every aspect of power is all
yes,
that's true. It doesn't matter if you're an Elon Musk or an 8-channel amplifier.
Yeah, exactly.
It's about control, people. I'm going to bend you to my evil ways. You will buy my shitty cars. Oh, so buy at my 6 coaxial.
Yeah, cut the wires, bro.
Yeah, why would you not? Why would you not? Yeah. I would.
Yeah, why not? I've done it before.
Yeah. Something, you got to do something for them tweeters. Goddamn. But yeah, working on doing active in my F-150. It's a game changer, man. Now we're spoiled to it. Now because it's like that's all we do. When we don't get to do it, it's like
it's tough. It is tough. I don't know if I want to run I am running Japan. What's up? It's daytime. You're in the future.
They are. Yeah, they are in the future.
Yeah. I'm running stock in the Jeep with just some coax upgrades, and it's not fun.
No,
it's not what I want to happen, but It's where we're at right now.
Especially a Jeep. I mean, it's like 10:30 a.m. Ooh, his day is just getting started.
With nonsense.
Yeah, I would. Let's see. The news would be done. We'd be starting the day. I'd probably be angry about something already. Yeah. They need a 12-channel amp. Soon enough, my friend. Soon enough.
There you go.
What would you do with 12 channels, right? What are you going to do with it? Well, we know Kicker ain't coming out with a 12-channel amp.
Right.
So, Bobby, I don't know what
Bobby's
you're
out.
do.
He's out of it.
Bobby's out. I mean,
yeah.
You're going to have to buy the 7-channel and the 5-channel.
Or 2 7-channels.
That's 14 channels. What is he going to do with that?
I mean, subs, man.
Yeah, it's 12 channels for highs and 2 subs. And that's not a terrible idea.
Right, yeah.
It's not a terrible idea.
You should give me channels like that. Listen, 3-way in the front.
Active, I know. Trust me, we've done the math.
Rear fill, and then you're probably going to bridge to the door speakers, the mid bass. It's just
Yeah, down for sound makes a 4-channel or 10-channel amp. Oh no, of course. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for it. I mean, I got to see a prototype 12 to 16 this week, and I was like, oh
yeah. Well, and I think theirs is like power wise, it's pretty. I can't remember.
Sean version.
Yeah, it's like
it's got to be stupid.
It's like 150 watts per channel at 4 ohms, something like that.
It's gotta be
maybe.
Stupid.
Yeah, it's an obscene amount of power.
Sorry, got water in my ears. Just got out of the shower.
Show it to the camera.
I had to. It's bugging me.
Oh, you got to show the earwax to the
camera. Oh, there's no earwax. It was just water because Anyways, at 30, I'm wondering what time. It's yeah, I mean, listen, I think 12 to 16 is perfect. 10 is fine. Like, you can do a lot with 10. 9 is cool. 9 to me, 9 would have been like, I think Kicker with a 9 would have been perfect.
Right.
I did find out one thing with the 7-channel that because I talked to John Myers this week or last, I don't know. I talked to John Myers, let's just say in the past couple days, and he was telling me that so channels 1, 2, 3, and 4 are high wattage. Right. Channel 5 and 6 are low wattage. So you're actually gonna be running your tweeters on 5 and 6. And I immediately said,
oh no, Brian's not gonna like this.
I'm not gonna like it. I immediately hated it. I was like, okay, we gotta re-silk screen the amplifier. This is dumb.
Exactly.
Like, that's the dumbest thing ever.
Dude, you for sure got to bring this up with Brian on the podcast.
No, because he'll say the same thing I will. I mean, I'm channeling my inner Brian going, that's dumb. And I get why they did it. John explained to me why they did it, why those channels are low wattage like that. I was like, I perfectly understand that, but no one's going to get that right ever. That's always going to be wrong. Everyone's going to be, why did my mid bass suck?
At best, they're using 2-way up front and rear fill, and then it's not going to be as big a deal.
And that was my thought. I'm like, okay, well, that would be fine.
But that doesn't always happen, though. It's usually a 3-way up front with 6 channels. And
so now you got to bump your tweeters to 3. I was like, oh my god.
So the 5 and 6 are the lowest wattage then?
Yes.
Oh man.
So the idea is you could bridge like 5 and 6 to a center channel. And I'm like, no one's gonna do that.
Yeah.
No, not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So basically what you're trying to say is 1, 2 tweeter, 3, 4 mid, 5 and 6 bridge, because 5 and 6 bridge is just a little bit more power than, let's say, one of the other channels.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. I mean, that's in that case why, because you don't want to call it I mean, I there's a lot of scenarios in which the power output makes total sense, and I don't see any way to number it to where it makes any sense, because if you make, I still feel it should be channels 1 and 2. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Low wattage channels should always be 1 and 2. No matter what, they should always be 1 and 2. There's nothing you're gonna say that's gonna change my mind. There's no scenario you're gonna paint. I can come up with them, But at the end of the day, I'm always going to be like, no, they should still be 1 and 2 because I don't, it doesn't,
that's just a labeling issue at that point.
Yeah.
Like you could,
but like you said, though, in a perfect world, it's going to be tweeter, mid bass, rear fill. It's going to be fine. Like that's 90% of the use of that amplifier is going to be done that way.
right.
Guarantee it. You know, because most cars have a 2-way up front, rear, and a sub. Everyone's going to run it that way. No one is going to look at the wattage on that thing and go, oh, I should put my tweeters on 5 and 6.
Right.
No, you're not.
no, it's going to be fine in most cases, but
yeah,
do you ever feel like
so
these companies? Here's what's happening. The companies are like genies, right? But like the trickster genies.
Oh,
you say, I want $1 million. I'll be like, ooh, got you $1 million. And they have a armored car that's been robbed.
Yes.
That's your $1 million. It's like, I just wanted like you to create $1 million.
Yeah, no. But
you're not getting that.
No, for sure. You're not. No. Kicker doesn't sell.
I mean, but you can't assume everyone's going to use all Kicker products.
Correct.
You know, I mean, and I would say most people are not completely branded throughout a system.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
And if Paul designs it for you, you're definitely not. I'll tell you that right now. I'm putting my tweeters on 5 and 6. Hi-fi, stop milking Dean for cardio. No, you know, it's okay. Like there again, I get why they did it. I get why they shouldn't have done it. And that's the way it is.
You literally had a podcast about this, 3 or 4 episodes ago?
Yes.
With you and Brian? Yeah.
Proper. But there again, we're also taking the amplifier. I think the one pass. I think why the amplifier gets a pass.
Yeah.
Is because it's not a DSP. If it was a DSP and that was the way it was, we got talking. We got words. We got problems.
If that's the way, you need to change the software up to make it look like that's 1 and 2. Yeah.
Because every channel can be any configuration. So I mean, from that perspective, it's fine. Like because all channels can be high pass, low pass, band pass, which I think is the most important thing. And none of the time alignment now. The time alignment makes sense in that none of it correlates to the other one because it can't. It would be horrifically, it would be terrible because there would be no way to direct it to where it needed to go. It'd be physically impossible without, you know, and I've read it's one of the most commented videos I've had in a long time, which is great because I don't have to respond to them. It's just everyone telling them how they feel. And the major consensus is this is the dumbest thing that Kicker has come out with the exception of the Snowman. The Snowman will always be the dumbest thing they've come out with in a long time. It's a dud. It could have been great, but it ain't. But everyone doesn't understand why. When the reality is we can plug it into a laptop and do all of this. And the answer to that is simple. Okay? Because they look at the price of that box and say that box is going to be cost. And that's what I could just plug into my laptop. Now, here's the thing. That box is cheap. That box didn't cost them shit. That's why that box is so big.
Yeah.
It's because if it was small, it would be expensive, but it's big, which means it's cheap. We know it's cheap. Okay. The LCD screen in it is tiny. And it's an LCD screen. It's the crappiest screen you could find. Okay. There's reasons why it is ugly and pointless and it's functional, but it also kept the amplifier small, which is the most important thing because big amplifiers don't sell as well as small amplifiers. There's a place for them, but not in Kickerverse. They have their 2 big amplifiers. They're called Warhorses. And even those are a third of the size of the original Warhorse. Right. Now, if I want to make it an app that I can plug into my laptop, guess what you now have to do?
Play Bluetooth.
No, you plug it in. You can still plug it in, but you have to hire an app developer that can build and design your app. And guess what Kicker doesn't have?
They had one at some point because they had the Q class.
Yeah, but that guy's dead.
Yeah, well.
Okay, he's gone. He was a great guy. He passed away. He got sick and died. It's a shame. But my point is you'd have to hire an app developer to do that. Now, they've had 4 years to do it. So, but they had already developed the amp. Like the 2 years going into developing the amp was already done. It's been sitting on the shelf for 4 years, waiting for COVID to get over so that they could come out with this thing. And the reality is, and I said it 4 years ago, and I said they should just shit can it because it's not what we want. It'll do fine. It'll people are going to buy it. People are going to love it. In a straight amplifier world, this is going to be the best straight amplifier money can buy. Okay, you can do everything with it that a straight amplifier sucks at. So if you're buying a power amp with dials, man, you suck. Okay, this thing is going to be fantastic for that. And majority of the market still buys straight power amplifiers.
Yeah,
DSP is like fucking, it's like this big. Okay, people. I mean, why do you think Audio Control just came out with 2 straight power lines? It's a cash grab because they know everybody's going to buy them.
Yeah,
and why wouldn't they? They're pretty. They're easy to use. They have a lot of features. They got a ton of power, and they're a good price. So Kicker's made the best straight power amplifier you can make. Okay. Unfortunately, they're introducing it when DSP is on the cusp of being everything. 4 years ago, it wasn't.
yeah.
We were still like, wow, man, when's that next Q class coming out, man? That's gonna be awesome. And like you didn't have the heart to tell everybody it ain't coming out.
Yeah,
like, it ain't a thing. It's not even in the blueprints, bro. Like there's a whiteboard. I've seen it. It doesn't say anything. Like it's not there. You know what it says? Key rock. Key. That's it. So should come out with a new Q class. I don't think decay is enough for a lot of people. And there again, you're not wrong. And this was a conversation I had with them. And I told them, people don't want this. They want your next Q class. They had just built up momentum with the Q class as its end of life. They weren't ready for that. They didn't know how to deal with it. They had already changed tracks internally. Mentally, they were not ready for it. And the key was the future. And then COVID happened. And COVID was just a time where it was like, dude, we just need to keep the lights on. Okay. We were all busy, but we were all busy just focusing on keeping the lights on, keeping the lights. There was no development at all on technology during COVID. There was none. So I think the key tech is Kicker's way into current DSP market. It is, and it will be.
Yeah.
And that's where they need to focus. And they are. But there again, we had 4 years of the rest of the market was moving, and we were all settling into products that we were becoming accustomed with because we all had free time. So we all started to figure out what a DSP was because we had time. And now they're coming out with an amplifier that's kind of a DSP, but not really. And it has some DSP characteristics, but no. So everyone's kind of confused. Like, where does this thing fit in? And it's like, what it's capable of doing as a straight power amplifier is awesome. Fucking awesome. Like, if you got to buy a straight power amplifier for whatever reason, you're buying that. Period. Yeah. Because everything else is going to suck after it. That's always been my major complaint, like doing bi-amping on an amplifier. It's like, I got to bi-amp a tweeter. You mean I got to dial this thing in to hopefully be 3,200 or 5,000 or somewhere in between, 2,200? Thank God I got a CCA or CC1 or whatever. It's like, dude, now I just go, done. Hey.
Yeah.
Bye, bitches. Just got to make sure it's channel 5 and 6. I feel like the Corona should have been separate. Maybe. Okay, so you got to also remember, too, the bigger picture of things, all right? Now, keep in mind, I've been accused of being a 1%er, all right, which I am, 100%. I'm a 1%er. I'm bougie as hell. I get to touch and feel things that most people equipment, still not good. But you guys are just as bad because you're fans. You're willing to spend the night listening to two goofballs talk about car stereo, and you got nothing else better to do. So you guys are not, the norm. So in car stereo shops, like half of them don't even have the passion that you guys have, right? So when I say there's a huge market for straight power amplifiers, there's a gigantic market for it. There are still shops where laptops are not a thing, where like computers don't get used, where fab is all that matters, or building a box is oh dude, I just built this killer box. Good for you. So I get to watch installer of the year videos because I get to judge that stuff. And I got to look at everyone's toolbox because for some reason people can't figure out that's not what we're asking them. So there is junk in people's toolboxes. And there's going to be one of these in everyone's toolbox in 6 months. Okay. And it's cheap. It's throwaway. It's meaningless. It's like a bass knob. It doesn't matter. But if they sold it separately, it would piss everyone off. Like the CS amplifiers don't come with bass knobs. And I guarantee you that every single sales rep will tell you the one thing that they got to listen to all the time is somebody when they walk into a store going, dude, why don't your amps come with the bass knobs in the box? Everybody's bass knob comes in the box except yours. Yeah. And I even said that I went to Steve Irby and I said, dude, why don't you put the bass knobs in the box? He put his arm around me. He said, Dean, let me tell you a story. And he told me a story. And I said, I would never put a bass knob in a box ever. Never. He goes, exactly. So if they don't put this controller in the box, they're going to piss everybody off. Everybody. Because you're like, bro, you didn't tell me. What do you mean you bought a toaster and didn't buy bread? What the fuck did you think was going to happen?
Well, the only B5, here's the B5 with the controller. It looks very Kicker SX-ish.
Well, of course it does. I mean,
and it's like, and I had beef with that amp. Like I had beef with the amp, the way it controlled, and
dude, let's be honest. I pissed everyone off. Let's be honest, okay? Everyone at Kickers has been there for 25, 30 years. Okay, right. It seems like they've all been there forever. Okay, nostalgia flows through that place like water. Okay, of course it's going to be a nostalgic look. But remember, your bad experience is your bad experience. Their bad, it's not theirs. They had nothing but love, baby.
Yeah. Well, listen, besides the interface, I thought the SX were ugly. These are great looking amps.
Yes.
I think the aesthetically, these are awesome looking amps.
All right, hold on. I got to read what Melissa's saying. At Local Shop, my own Tom here is so brain dead. He still thinks the Amp Pro or AR are fancy LOCs. It's seriously painful to talk to him. Oh, trust me, dude, Melissa, you got to remember, I had the first Amp Pro. Legit, I had the first Amp Pro. We put it in a Ford. We filmed that video. Imagine the pain I had telling everyone the next day what a fucking Amp Pro was and why you needed it. And they put it in the exact same box as their fucking high level to low level adapter. I mean, how dumb can you be? Like, legit. I think that was the biggest problem with the sales of the Amp Pro was they put it in the fucking same box that their LOCs came in. It's the same plastic fucking box. I was like, guys, put it in a metal fucking box. Put it in an aluminum box. Put it in a black plastic box. Change the fucking color. Well, that's tooling. Change the color. Take the fucking blue ends off. Make them red. I like, come on, brand the bitch. Oh my God. They're just like, well, fuck. That's my life. So I understand where you're at, but I had a whole industry to fucking get their heads around that shit. Good luck.
Like now even true LOCs aren't line output converters anymore. Like a key lock.
What's an Amp Pro?
What's
seriously?
Like a key lock, right?
Yeah.
A key lock is like a highly sophisticated line output converter.
Highly sophisticated line output converter.
It's not, before they were using, resistors to make them.
I don't know what the question is, but the key lock is usually the answer.
Yeah.
100%. Like, I tell every kicker dealer, don't be a bougie, don't be an asshole, order a fucking key lock. It's a fancy lock. Yes, it is a fancy lock.
Got him.
Points. The basic TSP feature on the new kicker amp could have been a Bluetooth thing. Okay, so apparently you haven't listened to the podcast that Brian and I just did this past week, because you have to understand, in order for Bluetooth to go into an amplifier, and Kicker would pay the royalty fees, it is $12,000 per product to put Bluetooth in a product. Okay.
Yeah.
There's what, 4 amps that would need Bluetooth in it? That's $36,000 in Bluetooth.
48,000.
That's $48,000 in Bluetooth. Math was never my thing. Okay. Either way, I don't know about you, but I put $48,000 in an amp that hasn't even sold yet. Fuck that shit. The cost of that keypad is nothing.
Well, it's like what you guys said too is there's companies that would do it shadily and not pay it.
Pretty much everyone in the industry,
right?
I mean, every piece of product you buy off Amazon, right. They put Bluetooth. No, they're not paying that shit.
Yeah, Apple CarPlay. Yeah,
no, they pay royalties and nobody.
Look, bro, I got a Tesla screen. You see them Tesla screen radios?
Yeah.
Has anyone brought one of those into you?
Yes, and we politely go, hey,
those got to be the biggest piece of junk ever.
Go back that way and just.
I've never touched one, but I just.
Yeah, I mean, so the funny thing is like we found out about that years ago when audio control was coming out of the ACBT24, the little module that you could slide into the side of the amplifier to do Bluetooth streaming. So it was supposed to be 2 pieces. You know, Bennett was all excited. They developed 2 pieces. They developed one that was just a Bluetooth streamer, and they developed one that was the one to interface with the laptop in your iPad and your tablets and all that shit. And they were so excited about it. And then they found out it was going to cost them $30,000 to develop both pieces. And Alex was like, what the fuck? He's like, can we just put it all in one chip and call it a day? We'll charge double. And they were like, yeah, I suppose. That's why that thing was so expensive. And it sucked. So, but because no one can understand why this little box was like, I think it was like $150. And everyone was like, to do what? And it was like, to stream music to it. A streamer for $150? It's like, yeah. But that's also why that Moscone, what is it? The 96K Bluetooth streamer is $180.
Yeah.
$200? Because it's the royalty fees that went in the fact that we're only going to sell like 1,000 of these if we're lucky.
Mm-hmm.
So
money back. Yep.
We got to get our money back, you know? So Wi-Fi is cheapest. Yes. Wi-Fi with the web interface, cheap, simple, everyone free. Yes. 100%. Wi-Fi is the answer. There's no question about it, but I don't know why they do it. They don't do it. So it's like, whatever, but everything should have Wi-Fi.
Unspoken rules. Now there is, and you probably know the brand. There is a brand that makes legit bigger kind of Tesla screens. That's a newer company.
Yeah.
That I haven't heard of them.
Shit, I got their hat right. Linkswell.
Yes, Linkswell.
Yes, they have the new giant 19-inch. We showed it in the SEMA video.
Right. And those are supposed to be, I don't know if you've used them. Those are supposed to be pretty legit from what I hear.
So Linkswell is a funny company.
Yeah.
There's one guy at Linkswell that pissed off Fernando because not this last SEMA, the SEMA before last, we went over and we talked to one of the guys there. Great guy. I can't think of his like Miguel or something like that. Anyways, talk to him. I hope he doesn't listen to this because he'd be pissed. I forgot his name, but I suck at names. So I tell everybody that. So it's okay. Great guy. Totally excited. Was like, you guys, I was like, dude, I have a Mustang. You make a Mustang. It's a new Series 6 or 6.5 or what the hell it was. I was like, I want one for my Mustang.
Right.
Everyone, I want to put this in my car because if it's great, I want to tell everybody, because everyone makes these and they suck. And you guys seem to be the only one that have your shit together. So it was like, okay, cool, fine. And this was in November, which is, so come January, we're at Knowledge Fest. And, and I said, hey man, let's talk about doing this. And he's like, okay. So we sent Fernando over because that's his job, and the guy didn't want to talk to him. So finally, at some point, Fernando gets to talk to the guy, and the guy was like, the guy in charge of this was a total dick. It's the easiest way to say it.
The money guy.
He was just being a total dick, and Fernando was like, "We're good. This isn't that important to us. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
It's not, we had a conversation. You guys were excited. We were excited. We were hoping to come together and do something exciting.
Yeah.
That's all it was. There was no promises. There was no nothing. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I don't feel bad. You don't feel bad. It's fine. It's not a big deal, you know? But the way it went about, it was very not good. And I was like, okay, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And they felt, you know, my guy that's there felt terrible. He was like, and I was like, dude, hey, listen, it happens. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's not a
It's out of
big
his
deal.
hands, you know.
You know? Now, here's the fucked up thing. Is so this guy, and again, he could be the nicest guy in the world. I don't know. I don't want to know because it's like whatever. Every event we go to, he is standing 5 feet away from me for the rest of the year. Like he's literally standing next to us while we're doing the clean wire challenge. I'm in fucking Canada. He's 5 feet away from me, and he's in his booth. I'm in my booth. And I'm like, how does this guy not figure this out? Like, wait, what the fuck? Jesus Christ! I mean, and I'm just like, oh my god. You know, and my guy's like, dude, this guy's such a pain in the ass. Like, he's not budging on this. And I'm like, dude, I totally get it. It's okay. Like, fuck it, whatever. You know, when you're ready, let me know. Okay, I still have the car. But
exactly.
Dean, would the Mustang be done if you got the Linkswell? No, but maybe.
It wouldn't be done, but you'd probably have the head unit in there.
The head unit. Listen, the head unit's got to go right now. The Linkswell needs all the promotion they can get. I know nothing about them. They lost out. Yeah, and there again, it's totally understandable. And they did. Hey, listen, they had a bad experience. Is really what it comes out to. When all's said and done, they've given the radios to some people, and they've had a bad experience. They didn't get us. You know, they didn't get what we do, what we bring to the table, and so. I'm not holding my breath. Trust me. I got other things to deal with. And so they just assumed everyone's the same way. And it's like, hey, listen, you're once bitten, twice shy. You had a bad experience, Italian job style. I totally get it. It's no big deal. Just whatever. You know, it's okay. You know, SEMA, we still went there. We still covered it because they have that fucking screen is like, Jesus Christ. You know, Fernando wouldn't even be able to see out the dash while driving the car.
That's getting a boosted seat.
I mean, it's like, oh, you want a Tesla radio? These guys put the T in Tesla. Fucking hey, this thing is gigantic, man. You know, it's so fucking crazy. But there again, you know, some of these radios are just sketchy as shit. I had a guy come in today, and he's like, he's asking me all these questions in his BMW, and he wants to do this, that, and the other. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then I'm like, you need this interface. And then he's like, oh yeah, I got this, fucking Android radio. And I was like, whoa, time out.
No.
What?
No.
He's like, yeah. It's the first upgrade I did. And I go, all right, well, we're dead in the water. He's like, why? Because this is made to work with your factory radio, not some Android radio that. Well, I mean, it's talking to the factory amplifier, yeah, but the amplifier, this ain't going to talk to that radio. I mean, this thing costs more than your radio. I mean, give me a break. Like, you need to. No, we're done. Sorry.
You know the sad thing? When someone says I have a Pioneer radio, I feel the same way.
But Pioneer, okay, so Pioneer ran Windows CE for the longest time. Were they the first? I don't remember if they switched. I'm almost positive they were the first to switch to Android. Kenwood went Ubuntu, so they were running Linux,
right? Which
makes sense. But a lot of them switched to Android, so because it's easy to write for. Right. So a lot of the radios use Android backgrounds, which is funny because everyone's like, "Wait, they do?" No, you can't jailbreak it. It's not. Yeah, I mean, you might be able to if you're a fucking genius, but Pioneer seems to have been going downhill, getting cheaper. Okay, so just so you know, Pioneer is no longer a Japanese company. Pioneer is owned by a Chinese holding company out of China. So if you're like, why is this stuff getting more and more China? Because that's who owns them.
Yeah.
Nothing that says Pioneer is Pioneer anymore. You can think of Pioneer as the every other American brand, even though they're not an American brand. I think they were the first. No, They weren't, because you had other brands like Iowa, but they were definitely one of the big five.
Yeah.
That,
Oh yeah.
Have
They had a lot of stuff made in China as well, but they had everybody does, but they had the Japanese engineering. It's
had that sad high five. Pioneer used to be one of the top dogs. Boss is going to pass. Okay, you might be right about that. Okay, you might be right about that. Big things coming. Would you say it like that? Like if you went through my email history, you might find something to that effect.
Yeah,
but yeah. Well, trust me, I want to. I want a new player on the board. So bad do I want a new player on the board. And I know of one player that's coming on the board that everyone's gonna be like, what the fuck? All the old guys will be like, what the fuck? And it'll be like, yeah, and no. But yeah.
It's probably gonna be jail audio or something because of Garmin. I assume
Let's not talk about them today. I'm not happy. Let's not talk about it. That's a whole nother thing. I don't want. Ask me another day. No. iData is not coming on the board. No. Listen, iData's been wanting to make a radio for the last 10 years. It seems like since iData's been the conception of iData, they've always wanted to make radios, and it's fine. Are they going to make one? Who the hell knows? Let's just hope they continue to make modules at this point.
Right.
And everyone knows how I feel about the CompuStar. So
it came out of the blue when Stinger released their high 10.
No, it didn't.
For the average consumer. Obviously, if you're in the industry and you're getting the newsletters, you're going to know something about it.
I was playing with a thing in the mall parking lot. I mean, fuck, the thing that thing used to do when it came, like now everyone's excited because like you can take the high, what is it, the new one. Fuck, I always forget the name. The current 10, and hook up the audio control to it, and it's like you could do that with the original. The Elevate could do that with the Phoenix Gold. They took it out. They were like, y'all didn't pay for this chicken. And it's like, oh my god, WaveTech is not a rising star. WaveTech is just kind of moving along. Jason is a great guy. WaveTech is a cool company. WaveTech is just kind of doing their thing. They're if they're a rising star, they're a very slow rising star. I'd like to say WaveTech is the star that's just moving slowly across the sky, that is just doing its thing. It's doing great. Dealers that use it are happy. They're coming out with products that make sense for them. They got the new subwoofer that Jason just had a blast designing, which is cool. He was so stoked about that thing. I think I listened to him tell me about it for a half hour, an hour, and he's so happy. I was like, bro, I can't wait to get my hands on one. So that's just wait. I don't think WaveTech is doing anything spectacular. Now they've talked about doing things that could be game changing for them, but there again, I think right now they're just staying in their lane, which is good because they need to, and they're in a great position to be in the lane they're in. Just because if you look at the lane they're in, there could be some drift with that market share. So they came out with the amplifiers, which are cool, and they're very WaveTech-y. And then their line output converters and stuff like that are really well built. But you also have to remember, like, I get it. Audio control is the big player in there. But fucking Metra has like some amazing line output converters that they're just having a hard time marketing, but they're just as badass. It's just Metra. So it's like, yeah, but yeah, it does look like it's with a Boss Elite. Boss Elite is just like a tip. So can I put the tip in? That's nothing. It's nothing. But that's not who I'm talking about. So there is another brand that is going to drop that everyone's, and y'all when it drops, you're like, oh, that's the fucking brand he was talking about. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's what we don't need.
I feel as far as head units go right now, Alpine's kind of stale. Sony, I like some of the ES stuff. I think I prefer them if I'm not going to get a Kenwood unit. I'm a Kenwood guy.
Yeah, so I think Alpine's problem is they just need to get out of the head unit business.
Yeah.
I think if Alpine could focus on something else other than radios, they'd be a way better company.
Yeah, just kind of, it's stale from them. And they've got some really nice speakers and subwoofers and amps that they've been putting out.
They could definitely put the tech that they're putting into radios into other things and be way better, way more beneficial to the industry. They're not going to. They're just, they're turning into what Pioneer did. It's like, hey, we have a $450 wireless CarPlay radio from China. I mean, from Alpine. Yay! But we put the steering wheel interface input back on instead of having to wire it up like stupid.
Oh, do you remember when they had like the cruise control knob? I actually thought that was cool back in the day. That was 97-ish.
Blasphemy, Dean. I'll never give up my LX 507. By all means. But I would give it up. I would get a 509. The 9 is great. The 9 is the one. I think out of all the radios they make, the 509 is probably the best radio you can buy from Alpine right now. Hands down. Whoever's making the 509 for them, that company did the best job. For sure. Alpine could dominate the head unit game just from their reputation, but instead they keep screwing things up. Listen, you gotta understand, Melissa, you're old like me. They've been screwing shit up since the 90s. I mean, think about it. If you sold Alpine back in the 90s, you understand why Alpine's the way they are now. They could not figure out. I mean, literally, every year it was the same thing. They would come out with a good, better, best CD player, and the difference would be single RCA, dual RCA, 6-channel RCA. And after in 3 years, you would finally get the product that you wanted, and you'd be like, "This is awesome. This is great. It's 5-volt on 6-channel print." And then the next year, it was almost like the joke, right? They'd throw all this shit away and they'd start back over at good, better, best. And you get a radio that has 1 RCA, 2 RCAs, and 3 RCAs. And you'd be like, what the and the screen would be stupid. And you'd be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah. What did you guys just do? Never own Alpine, but fully respect their stuff. Why?
I've had a couple Alpines.
7909 back in the 80s was fantastic.
Right.
That and there's been a couple radios since then that everyone gets all excited about. Hey, the CVA 1000, the first motorized screen out of the dash, that was a cool piece. But guess what? It didn't have a video input on it, so you had to cut open the cable, spend 20 minutes figuring out which one was the video input, and solder an RCA into it so that you could then plug in their 5000 series $1,000 DVD player that didn't have last position memory. And if you're going, what does that mean? That means every time you turned off the car and turned it back on, the disc would start back over at the beginning menu. So you'd basically never shut your car off. Then their next $1,000 5200 had a new faceplate, a little bit sleeker look, but it had last position memory. Keep in mind, you could buy a off-brand DVD player at the time for about $150 that had what? Last position memory.
They were going with the Apple model.
Oh, there you go. She still got a DVA 52 or 5205. Still have one. Why? Sell it. Jensen killed them on the single DIN flip out back then. I mean, not for me. I mean, there again, a lot of that stuff comes to location. I couldn't keep CVA 1000s in stock. I mean, we sold those. The 1005 came out next. When we got the Kenwood, what is it, the 901 or whatever the hell it was, the first flip out screen that you had to lift it up and then you turn the screen like this and that TV tuner. Oh my God, that thing was fantastic.
Yeah. I was still stuck on single. I was back then, Clarion, obviously, that was one of the big ones for me. Nakamichi, Denon, and then the Sony, the CDX with the 9805 or 9809, something like that. 9909, something like that.
Yeah, the AVIC N1. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, dude. The money we could make off of some of these first generation products back then was so stupid. Yeah. But
dude, the fact that they still have nav in units today seems insane to me.
Well, okay. So the only reason why we still have units with nav in them today are for old people. That's it. The only people that buy those are old people. Okay, because they're worried that their cell phone might not work wherever they're going. Seriously, that's it. Because it's like, I go, you need 4 navigation systems in your car? Yeah, because 3 of them are tied to my cell phone. but I don't always have coverage. What service do you have? I mean, we live in Florida.
Exactly. Once you put it in, it caches it, and then it works on.
Yeah, but so they're worried about being in a place where I go to some places and I can't get service. And what if I have to figure out where to go?
As long as you load it before, it's fine.
I might not do that though. Yeah, I might not have wiped when I took a shit last time.
Just get a Garmin. Just get a Garmin then. I had a Garmin at one point, but
I mean, I agree, but trust me, the last thing I want to do is put in a freaking navigation system in a car because it's going to be I don't want to do disc and I don't want to do nav because they're all full depth, big dumb radios, and it's like you finally now it's like I can finally put a radio in the dash where I don't have to put 500 pounds of pressure to get all of the crap into the dash, or spend 20 minutes doing this move where you're tucking everything out of the way because you got 10,000 wires that were never there before and a box that's this big, and it's like, oh my god, it's like putting an alarm behind a radio. I mean, honestly, these radios have more wires than the first alarms did. I mean,
the first DIN, like the short DIN chassis, were nice but like you said, you just had to figure out how you're gonna route your wires to get it in there, and then you still have to. Then if you're in one of those cheap clip mounts, oh god, you're done.
See, the one thing I like, Melissa said I haven't sold one in 5 years. The reason why we sell them is because we're in Florida, which is the retirement capital of the United States. So we get the old guys in and they're like, hey, we still sell CD players. I just bought this new truck, and how does it not have a CD player? Because nobody owns CDs anymore, dude. You can buy a record easier than you can buy a CD. What would you buy a record for? You can't play that in a car.
Not anymore.
You can't play a CD in a car either. Ha! Gotcha, bitch.
Yeah.
I really like the ILX W650 for the short chassis. Listen, the ILX W650 was my favorite Alpine radio that they've done in the longest time ever. By the time that thing was like that last year that radio was out, oh my god, that was the go-to radio, man. We sold those things like crazy. And then they announced the ILX W670. How do you fuck that up? Alpine.
Yeah.
It's just what you said. And there again, that's what I was talking about. The same way in the 90s. It's like you get something to where it's perfect, and all you got to do is add that one dumb feature. We just want to add some RGB light control to it. That is our custom RGB light control that nobody else can use at all, ever. Stupid. Yes.
Yeah.
Very, very dumb. Very fucking dumb. Everyone's in the lights now. Let's make ours and then that's not make an add-on to where we can have an external RGB controller or anybody. It's like, why the fuck would you do that?
Well, what was that connection they always had? AI net.
Yeah, which was fine because that everybody had that. Kenwood had one, Alpine Cone, they all had theirs, which I'm totally fine with. But these are RGB lights. Like,
make it work with the AI net.
Make it work with everybody's. I mean, make the shit. I mean, Memphis figured that shit out. Their DSP, you can control the fucking RGB lighting from. I mean, wow. Huh, that's simple.
I mean, even Jensen has a DSP app that you can control the lights from on the app. So
it's fucking dumb. And I can tell you right now, all those RGB lights that Bluetooth controlled, guess what? They're not paying royalties for Bluetooth.
Yeah, you know it. Yeah,
those would be $500 fucking RGB lights with Bluetooth controllers. I worked my way up to Alpine. Had a hand-me-down JVC head unit with the used acoustic amp, Jensen 6x9, Walmart. So, So by the time I got my first Alpine, I, like everyone else, I went through all the paces, had all the stupid shit, and I had learned my lesson very well that it makes no sense to buy cheap shit. Okay. And I don't mean shit like, oh, it's trash. I just, in a descriptive terms, it just makes no sense to think you're getting a deal buying lesser expensive equipment. So it was the first time I ever went in debt in my life was to buy my Alpine 7909, I went down to this place called Stereorama. They were the local Alpine dealer, and took my mom, and I had like some of the money. I got a loan, literally got a loan to buy a CD player. Mom was like, I couldn't believe she co-signed with me. That was insanity. And I took out a loan to buy the CD because I was like, I'm not buying crap anymore. I don't have the money to buy good stuff, but I can get a loan. Ooh. Later on, I learned that was a bad idea, but I digress, But after that point, it was like, I got it. I'm never going to settle and buy another cheap piece of equipment thinking that, and don't get me wrong, it's sometimes I'll fuck up. Like, when I got into cameras, I made the mistake. I bought a cheap lens, and I was like, immediately, I was like, oh my God, I'm a dumbass. And I sold it and immediately bought the L glass, the expensive Canon L glass, which was 5 times the amount of money. It took me another 6 months, but it was like, there's a reason why there's things that are of better quality. And it's just been my experience that if you buy cheap shit, it will always be cheap shit. I would have gotten a loan. I didn't get my credit.
Got all them CDs though.
Yeah, man, lots of pennies going out. When I started in 1998, Alpine was so dominant. They had the CDA 7998, which flipped out. Oh yeah. No, I was 8 years into selling Alpine at that point. We started selling Alpine. We sold a lot of Alpine. We had Clarion. We started with Clarion, and then we moved into Alpine, and then we moved out of Alpine into Kenwood, and then we never looked back. So, because Kenwood just dominated after that.
Yeah, Kenwood was more suspect to me back in those days. Their quality wise,
it came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I mean, we built Kenwood here. There was no one had heard of Kenwood here. I had never even heard of it. Yeah. And we're like, we're gonna sell Kenwood. And I was like, what? They're like, well, Alpine's pissed us off quite, and that could also be my animosity towards Alpine, is they really pissed us off and said some really inappropriate shit. And it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the guys, I love their products. It just, there's also truth, right? And if somebody does something stupid, which I've done plenty of things stupid and people have told me, but they continuously do it, and you're just like, come on, I thought you guys were smarter than this. You're fucking Alpine.
What's crazy?
R-Type 4-inch, for fuck's sake.
Because where Kenwood came from to where they are now, where I think they're at the top of the game as far as if you're going to get a head unit, in my opinion. But up until that point, they were pretty sketch until I think like the X998 was the first one. I was like, oh damn, that's a serious head unit from Kenwood.
Well, even and not to say that Kenwood didn't fuck up. Listen.
Oh yeah.
Kenwood was the slowest fucking operating system on the face of the earth. Their boot time for Kenwood was like, all right, I'm gonna start my car, go back inside. You need remote start so your radio will be ready when you are. Holy fuck.
Even I have what's the 403 or the 407 or something like that now in the Trooper. Yeah. The Bluetooth connection time on that, I back out, I'm driving down the road. I'm almost out of my street before it connects automatically. Yeah. It does connect automatically, but.
And that was, the previous, so the 7, what are we on now? We're on 876. Yeah. So the 6 series, I want to say it was the 6 series, got the dual core processor running at Ubuntu. Like that was those. So it was either the 5 or 6 was like, and that wasn't that long ago. Okay, they've been struggling with this for a long time. Once it booted up and was running, it was fine. But their boot times have always been shit. 7706. Yeah, that was a great radio. But the dual core processor running Ubuntu has fucking made everything Kenwood has touched work great. The problem is COVID. COVID killed all development, and we got nothing from Kenwood for 4 years. And we're gonna get something from Kenwood, but not everyone is gonna be like, yay, because there's a certain portion of you that are like, I want this, and it's like, we're not gonna give you that.
It's got to be a tough market for radio, aftermarket radios in general at this moment, anyways.
No, it's funny too. It's funny. In the last 4 months, I think I've put in more radios than I
Really?
have in a year.
That's
Like
crazy.
weird, like it is.
Yeah.
But everyone's like, I think everyone, I believe it or not, I know a lot of us that have CarPlay and Android Auto for a very long time. People are finally starting to understand that they need Android Auto and Apple CarPlay.
You
I
do.
had a lady come in today, nice lady. We're going to put a stereo in her 350Z. It's a 20-year-old car. And she's like, no, I need this. I'm like, have you ever used it before? She's like, nope. And I was like, really? She's like, yeah. I'm like, you've never rented a car with it or nothing? She's like, nope. I'm like, wow. All right, well, let me show you. Hold on.
What you got?
Let me pull my pocket notes. It's, in the beginning, there was, it's like everyone said head units are dead. I've done way more recently, especially when in the older touchscreens that 100%. And that's the thing. Head units are never going to be dead. As long as there's cars on the road, there's going to be a need for updating the crap. Okay.
Yeah.
And the problem is right now is that there's a whole bunch of cars out there that there's no way to update them. Okay. So we have to fix that problem because that is a huge amount of money that is just waiting for a solution and not patiently. So
yeah, I'm driving one of those currently.
Yeah. So exactly. But yours is fine because your radio is never your radio is not a problem. You got
Right.
a brand new 2024. By the time your radio needs to be replaced, that screen size. See, that's the problem. Is that's a new screen size. So that's the screen size that they're using there. GM is using in their trucks, Kia is using in their trucks. So that is this 12-inch wide DIN size. So realistically, there's no talk about it. No one has said there'll be a radio that fits that. Okay.
Yeah, that would be best case scenario, one that fits in there just like that.
Yeah, I mean, what is going to happen is over the next 3 years is they're going to come up with a commonality size. Somebody's going to ruler that out and be like, okay, or they're going to talk to whoever's making that glass. And they're going to be, all right, we need to make this size, okay, and then that'll become a factory, a DIN size that we will sell, and it'll be like, but it doesn't matter because until we can get the ability to talk to it, it doesn't matter. So we have a lot of hurdles, and it's going to have to happen. Somebody's going to have to do it because they're going to break. We know they're going to break. Yeah. That's where we're at now. I mean, you can't expect someone to pay $70,000. Don't crack your Jeep's front window. It costs $400 to replace with calibrate. Oh yeah, for sure.
And they're the most crackable windows out because they're basically straight up and down.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, whatever. We know now how long these screens will last, and so we have some time, but somebody's going to have to do it because what I was going to say is you can't expect somebody to pay $70,000 for a car, or $80,000 for a car, or even $60,000 for a car, and then the determining factor on whether we scrap the car or not is the radio.
Yeah,
but that's where it's at, right? I mean,
right.
I mean, think about it for a minute. If your Tesla radio dies,
that controls your whole. That's not your radio.
No,
that is your car.
Everything.
That is your car.
Yeah. and if you have, I mean, so we know that these things are going to exist. They have to, but we're a long way from that. And we have plenty of hurdles. I mean, trust me, the shit that keeps me up at night is not the screen size of your dash. It's all the other shit that they're doing. That's like, we can't decide on what kind of amperage draw an EV is going to be able to take, and what kind of security features for safety are they putting in these things. So if you draw over 30 amps because you put a monster dildo in your cigarette lighter, your car is going to shut down. It could happen. Trust me, it's happened. Not for me. I've just had customers that way. But I mean, and then the fake engine noises and the fucking noise canceling. And now GM is complaining that some of these cheap amps that aren't RF shielded are fucking up the cameras. Jesus Christ, man.
That's what Derek sent me a message today talking about. Did you hear they're going to put a 600-watt amp and 2 subwoofers in the new Dodge Challenger, whatever they're coming out with.
They've done that before.
And I was like, oh, yeah, that's awesome. He's like, for the exhaust, though. Not for the
yeah, exactly. It's gonna yeah. Gotcha.
Got him.
Yeah, exactly. No, but they've done that in the Challenger.
Yeah.
They put 2 10s underneath the thing, and they've done it in the side panel. I mean, the factory's done everything they possibly can to make things. They don't have the level of commitment that we do.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's just it. Oh, justified call. But yeah, so I mean, those are the things that trouble me is solutions for those problems. And you know, the Tesla thing, it's like everyone's just it's like the wild west of stupidity right now with Tesla. And it's
that's a time bomb to me. That the battery is its own time bomb. There's 2 time bombs.
Oh yeah,
screen that controls everything.
Yes.
And the battery.
Yeah, the battery.
And then whatever else, the build quality.
There's this dude on Instagram that services all this shit, and like they show how they take the battery apart and they rebuild them, and I'm going,
yeah, it's not like doing a Prius battery. Because I've done the Prius battery. That's not bad.
I'll take your word for it. You build batteries for a living.
Yeah, with just replacing modules. The Tesla though, that's something else.
I don't even know. I mean, I'm just looking at it going, how's that a battery? Like, what is it? I want to punch a Tesla screen, not mine. But man, it's a punchable.
What is
it?
What was that? Oh man,
I never understood punching a radios. I've replaced so many punched radios, and I'm just like, I look at the guy and go, did you just roll down the window and throw $1,000 out the fucking window before you punch the screen? See which one makes sense. Like, come on, dumbass. Like, I don't care how bad she didn't want to kiss you. Fuck it. Oh my god. Office pop or something. Do an MFT1 kit and get rid of the third radio. Yeah, 100%. MFT1 for the win.
All right. Okay. So are we doing a show next week, or are we shut down for Christmas?
Done. This is it. This is it for the year. We'll be back next year.
All right.
Yeah,
so we will be back.
I'm officially over the shit.
The 2nd or the 9th?
Probably the 9th.
The 9th. All right.
Definitely the 9th.
Heard it here first and last.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us this year. It's been fantastic. I'm honestly surprised you guys still come and watch the show. So thanks. Allows me to really be mean.
Yeah.
Maybe me. Yeah.
Oh man.
But you guys have a great night as always, man. Yeah, the 601 episode returned to Under the Bumper.
Yeah.
Dude, let me tell you what. Okay, Borla exhaust.
I think I've seen some about that.
Yeah, so last year they had a thing worked with audio control. It was basically Stinger, and they call it audio control. And they had the fake exhaust in that thing. Yeah. We got to hear it. It's like 2 6x9s in a Rhino line box with a shitty amp stuffed underneath there. And I mean, it was cool. It was stupid as shit, but it was cool. Because you're watching this test and the guy's in going, whoa, whoa, and he hit a button and it sounds like a Lamborghini, and you're going, I mean, how cool is this, really?
Video game, man.
You're never going to be. If a Lambo goes in front of 5-star with the condo in the back doors open, I can hear that thing and it's fucking like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That will never be a mistake. I will never know that happened.
No.
My shitty 4-cylinder with the custom exhaust settings on it will outperform that any day. It's like, ooh, did you hear that turbo kick in? Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. All right. Last chance to see us before the year ends.
On the show. Yeah,
we're talking cold cases next one.
Maybe,
but I'm working on other stuff.
Yeah, we might be. Okay.
All
right, guys. Thank you so much.
See you next year. Got to push the end button, I guess.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yes.
Yeah.